Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा
द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा
विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा
उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नाम जय तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा
जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे
भारत भाग्य विधाता
जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now, please welcome your host for the evening, Mr. Cyrus Sahukar.
Sit down, standing ovation. Oh, it's exhausting being this successful. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please find a seat, enjoy yourselves. We've got a fantastic evening lined up for you all. Good evening and welcome to the 26th edition of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards 2024. Now, these are the world's business awards celebrated in 60 countries and 145 cities, a unique global program to recognize entrepreneurial achievement. And the theme this year is Shapers of India's Future. And that's what all our incredible entrepreneurs are today. My name is Cyrus Sahukar and I shall be your host for the evening. Before we start, I request you all to please silence your phones, unless, of course, you are using them to Google who I am. Okay, 57 phones have come up. Hashtag hurt. Anyway, as we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, it's really lovely to be in Delhi. Now, Delhi's reached a point where clean air has started smelling a bit funny. It's become the opposite. I just saw a guy over there at the back, took a quick whiff from his oxygen mask. Please don't worry, buddy. We have enough air purifiers in this hall to fly the space shuttle. So don't worry about anything. But yes, the quality of air in Delhi has actually improved tremendously. And they have innovated. And now a new rule has passed that all pollutants have to present a business plan before being randomly allowed into the atmosphere. So a round of applause for that, please. Yay. Of course, people from Mumbai air quality is also equally magnificent. Today, my lawyer told me I have to be politically extremely correct. This is also because this event is being streamed live on EY India's YouTube page. So yes, you can watch it right now on your phone with free subtitles. And before we move forward, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors without whom this event would not have been possible. So a heartfelt thank you to our mobility sponsor, Nexa, for their support to the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards as we together celebrate entrepreneurial success. Thank you also to our luxury realty partner, India Sotheby's International Realty. India Sotheby's International Realty is a leading luxury real estate transaction and advisory firm with offices in Delhi NCR, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Goa, and Colombo. And with that, to kick off this glittering evening, I would like to now invite on stage the Chairman and CEO of EOY India, Mr. Rajiv Memani. Round of applause, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. And my apologies to everyone who got stuck up in some really terrible traffic. There are some things that EY cannot control, so. Anyway, your unwavering support, all of you who are here and over the years, has made EOY Awards the most coveted business awards in India. In simple words, the EOY Awards are a celebration of entrepreneurship. 3 decades back, we started these awards globally with the belief that entrepreneurs are the bedrock of society and a fast-growing economy. Yet their contributions are often not adequately recognized or celebrated. With the same purpose, we started the awards in India 26 years ago as a humble tribute to all of you who are in the room today. You're India's biggest competitive advantage and economic force multipliers. This is also reflected in the outstanding quality of EOY awardees over the past few years, and many of whom are present here today. India also has the proud distinction of having 4 winners at the World Entrepreneur of the Year Awards, the highest for a single country. I think this calls for a round applause, big applause for all our entrepreneurs. And we also have Vellayan, who was last year the World Entrepreneur of the Year winner. We'll hear from him later on. This, my dear friends, is a testament to the global influence of Indian entrepreneurship. We have a short video for Vellayan, which captures some of the special moments of him winning the global award.
The EY World Entrepreneur of the Year for 2024 is from India, Vellayan Subbiah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, everybody here. I'm fortunate to have been born in India at the time, when I've been born. Over the last decade, and now with continuing leadership, I believe the country is really setting itself on track to become a leading world power. And I hope that I can contribute my small part to that journey. And I think it's going to be entrepreneurs that build India, and I hope to be a significant part in that journey as well. Our objective in this lifetime, I really believe, is to change ourselves, improve ourselves, right? Our only job is to evolve. And I think that is the most important thing that we can do in our lives. And I genuinely believe that a lot of thinking is around changing others, but I feel like there's only one thing to change, and that's ourselves. If we change ourselves, then we really make ourselves, the organizations we work with, and the world a better place. Finally, I'd like to end with a quote from my favorite entrepreneur, Steve Jobs. He talks about the crazy ones, the square pegs in the round holes, right? Because we are the square pegs in the round holes. We are the ones that people often think are absolutely crazy. But, like he said, the crazy ones are the ones who think they can change the world, and they are the ones that actually change the world. So to all the entrepreneurs in this room, this is a real celebration for us. So thank you. Thank you so much.
That was outstanding, Vellayan. Congratulations once again. The Honorable Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, wanted to join us this evening, but he had to travel to US at a very short notice for reasons that all of you can imagine. He has graciously recorded a message for all of us, which we'll play shortly. And I don't think our timing could have been better, but we would like to welcome Shri Bhupender Yadavji, the Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion as the chief guest. He is a rare blend of political acumen, philosophical intellect, and legal expertise. Bhupender ji is a political strategist behind his party's several election victories, including the most recent Maharashtra elections. Personally, I've known him as a clear thinker and a very spiritual and a warm human being. Bhupender ji, namaskar aur bahut dhanyawad. As always, I would like to thank the real custodians of our EOY Awards, our esteemed jury members. I'm delighted to welcome our jury chair, Shri Sajjan Jindal, and other jury members, Dinesh Khara, Gaurav Trehan, Ranjan Pai, Roshni Nadar, Sanjeev Bikchandani, Shailendra Singh, Shweta Jalan, Sunil Munjal, and Vellayan Subbiah. This is perhaps one of the youngest jury and one of the most diverse in terms of industry representations. Each one of them immensely raises the stature and credibility of the EOY program. I'm grateful to many of them for coming. A lot of them have come from outside Delhi, and I'm really grateful for them for joining us today. Thank you very much. Friends, the jury has also nominated 2 awardees this year. Mr. K.V. Kamath has been conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award. He is one of India's finest business leaders and an exemplar institution builder. He has also been a big supporter of EOY. He's been a jury chair for a long, long time. And we always remain thankful to him for his support and patronage. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. S. Somanathan, former chairman of ISRO, has been felicitated with the Special Jury Award. As you all know, he is the man behind the successful Chandrayaan-3 mission, which was a moment of pride for every Indian. And finally, big congratulations to all the award finalists. You exemplify the qualities of what entrepreneurship stands for. It reminds me of a couplet from Javed Akhtar. जिधर जाते हैं सब, जाना उधर अच्छा नहीं लगता. जिधर जाते हैं सब, जाना उधर अच्छा नहीं लगता. हमें पामल रास्तों का सफर अच्छा नहीं लगता. Pamal means well trodden. All of you have taken the offbeat journeys, unleashed change in your industry or business, and created scale and an unbeatable moat through that transformation. May I request everyone to give a big round of applause to all our finalists today. And with that, I would like to thank you all once again for joining us and wishing you a great evening ahead. We shall now play the video message from Shri Piyush Goyal.
A very good evening to all the friends who are attending today's Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. I was very much looking forward to joining all of you along with my colleague and brother, Shri Bhupender Yadavji. But I regret I have had to travel out of India and I'm unable to join you today, but certainly look forward to getting a chance to meet all of you again in the near future. A big congratulations to all the award winners. This award is more than just an accolade. It's a global beacon of innovation, celebrating those who redefine the power of possibilities. I commend Ernst & Young on this event's 26th edition, a testament to its excellence. Congratulations to our India's risk takers and record makers who turn ideas into industry, dreams into disruptions and challenges into opportunities. Friends, under the dynamic leadership, the decisive leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India today has an entrepreneurial ecosystem that nurtures and empowers young India. To stay ahead in this ever-evolving landscape, Indian businesses must enhance competitiveness, focus sharply on high quality and sustainability, align with emerging trends, and integrate seamlessly into global markets. To all the winners and nominees who were shortlisted for the final selection, this award is not the finish line. It is a milestone in your journey to excellence, to create an even bigger impact in your area of work. Let this achievement fuel your ambition to dream bigger, innovate fearlessly, and drive India towards Viksit Bharat 2047. Once again, friends, my heartiest congratulations to all the winners. My compliments to Mr. Rajiv Memani and the Ernst & Young team, and my very best wishes to everyone present on this wonderful occasion. Thank you very much. Good evening. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goyal, and of course, a very big thank you to Mr. Memani. Thank you so much, sir, for kicking off such a wonderful evening. Thank you. It's, from where I'm standing, you all are looking absolutely stunning. And it's really nice to see everybody just looking beautiful and dressed up, and everyone is wearing a suit. So today, nobody can accuse us of disrespecting anyone. It's a good thing. Thank you, sir. Though I must say, just a big question. I get the suit, but what is the most meaningless invention along with it is this tie. There is no purpose to a tie. Modesty, why? Because no one wants to see my naked buttons. Or even more meaningless, I think, is the only thing that makes a tie look good is a bow tie, because you look like a propeller plane with nowhere to go. During the course of the evening, please forgive me, I should just be rambling about my own misgivings and miseries, but let's move on with the show now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a real treat in store for you all. A special panel discussion featuring as panelists the past winners of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year India Awards. So please welcome this glorious stage with icons of Indian industry. First, I'd like to invite on stage Chairman, Marico, and winner of EOY India 2020, Mr. Harsh Mariwala. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Joining him on stage, Chairman, JSW Group, and winner of EOY India 2022, Mr. Sajjan Jindal. Thank you so much for being here, sir. And Chairman, Cholamandalam Finance, Executive Vice Chairman, Tube Investments of India, and winner of EOY India 2023, Mr. Vellayan Subbiah. Thank you so much for being here. And to moderate this incredible discussion, we have the very sharp, the very incisive Managing Editor, CNBC TV 18, Ms. Shireen Bhan. Thank you all so much for being here, and over to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolute pleasure it is to be back here at the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. I think I've done about 20 of these, so it's great to be back in this room. CNBC TV 18 has been very proud to be part of these awards along with EY over the past 2 decades or so. As I was walking up on stage, 3 entrepreneurs who should be adaptable and agile are telling me, don't ask us anything out of syllabus. So that's exactly what I am going to do this evening. But to pick up up from where Rajiv Memani left off. He was quoting Javed Akhtar. So let me go a step ahead and quote Rumi. Rumi said that we choose our joys and sorrows before we actually experience them. Let me extend that to entrepreneurship and say we choose our success and failures before we actually experience them as well. And these three gentlemen here on the stage with me have had their fair share of successes, but have also had some learning to do with many tough decisions that they've had to encounter and take during the course of their careers. So without further ado, let me start. And Sajjan Jindal, I'm going to start by asking you, lots of jokes being made about suits. Everyone perhaps has watched President Trump's address to Congress this morning. It's the longest address in US history at over 1 hour and 40 minutes. And there was plenty there in terms of trade, tariffs, and so on and so forth. You know, the Prime Minister speaking just 24 hours ago said, it is time for Indian industry not to play spectator. Indian industry needs to rise to the occasion, needs to take up the challenge, needs to go out there and become a part of global supply chains. As you look at what's happening around us in the world today, Mr. Jindal, do you see this as an opportunity or as a threat to India?
No, I think Prime Minister Modi has already talked about it, that this is our time. India's time, and we have to go out there and be the part of supply chain. And I completely agree with it. Trump will come and go. There will be this Trump or another Trump. This will continue to happen. So we have two opportunities in front of us. One is to build this nation, India, which by itself is a huge marketplace, and we don't have to fear anything. We have to build it. We have to really put our best foot to build this nation and build it well. And we are very fortunate that we are at this time, we are here to build this country, and we are really doing it. Second is that we can really be a part of the global supply chain. Indian companies are very good at it. We have an extremely good cost structure. We have a very good skilled manpower. And we are already we are a very good supply chain partner of the world industry. And we need to really expedite that, and we have to expand that. So I'm very clear and very confident that we can really do that.
You're confident that we can do that, but the lament of the government, and this is from the finance minister, more recently the chief economic advisor, once again saying the private sector is not doing its part, private capex is not picking up. Why, if you believe that all of these opportunities exist and this is the moment for India, why are we still not seeing private investment pick up?
I mean, so in bits and pieces, private investment is happening. I wouldn't say that private investment is not happening. If you were to look at what JSW is doing, we are really investing and investing like hell. So there are many groups which are investing, but across the board, I would say the investment, the numbers are not as much as it should be. But I think it's time that private sector.
Is it a confidence issue? Is it a capital issue?
It's more of a confidence issue. I don't think capital is there is any problem with the capital. There is enough money out there. Actually, money is really chasing good projects, good investments. So that's not a problem. It's the confidence issue.
It's a confidence issue. Vellayan Subbiah, let me come to you. As the winner of the World's EOY Award, when you look at the India trajectory today, and I've heard you speak previously about looking at what's happened in China, and you believe China is going through its third phase of growth, where it's now focused much more on high value added as well as innovation. If you look at what's happening in India today, and we're talking about shaping India of the future, what's the role? Where do you believe we're in the cycle at this point in time?
Yeah, absolutely, Shireen. So I think that, if we look at our evolution, a lot of the growth in the first phase, came from either building things that we were used to. Even if we see industrial GDP formation, a majority of it came from the auto sector, sectors that have been in India for quite a while. But the new evolving sectors then also that have come about have been in the service economy, for example, with software development, with GCCs, all of that. But that still doesn't allow for product innovation. If we're actually going to become part of global supply chains, we need to be innovating products here, building products and components here. And that is a set of IP that needs to get developed in this country. which has to get done, I would say, over the next decade. So product innovation, I would say, is something that probably we've been a bit slower on. Because
why do you think that's the case? In this journey from becoming a service nation to a product nation, why do you believe we've been slow off the bat?
So honestly, I think there are 2 or 3 factors, right? One is that, the ecosystems have not existed, right, to support it, right? So basically, if we look at how far behind, if we take the electronics ecosystem, for example, starting with just printed circuit boards, we don't make advanced printed circuit boards in this country. So then to think of the entire downstream industry from that, it takes a long period of time to develop. So pretty much any sector you take, it's a similar story where a lot of base components are still imported into India. And therefore, the whole ecosystem around it has not developed.
Are we closer to breaking out of that now? Are we closer to moving more towards IP-led and innovation-led ecosystems?
Absolutely. I believe it's the only way to go. And I think most people now, because of the size of each of these segments and beginning to pick up, I do believe we're beginning to move towards that.
Mr. Mariwala, that's what you've spent your entire career on, sir. Your entire career at building Marico has been about innovation. It's been about focus. How do we create a culture of innovation? How do we go from being a services economy to, as Vellayan Subbiah said, a product nation?
So you're talking at an industry level or talking of
at a country level? You can start with the sector if you like.
No, I think at an organizational level, it's very important that you create the right culture of innovation. And for that to happen, the biggest deterrent to innovation is the fear of failure. People are afraid to take risks because they fear that if I take a risk, and all innovations are not going to succeed. Many of them are going to fail, as you rightly put it, and failure is the only way to move forward. You learn from the failures and launch something else, which will be a bigger success. So remove the fear of failure, encourage experimentation, encourage risk-taking. It's the responsibility of top management. And have diverse talent. Diversity adds a lot of value to innovation within an organization. So you need to create a culture of innovation which is diverse, empowered, open, trusting. Remove the fear of failure and encourage your talent to take risks and experiment. Because only out of experiments you'll decide whether you'll succeed or not.
Speaking of risk-taking ability, let me come to you and get all 3 of you to actually talk about this, because it's very different how you're all going about this. As you said, you're investing, in your words, the hell out of it at this point in time across different businesses, Mr. Jindal, including the latest foray into the electric mobility space. Now, should you go wide? Should you go deep at this point in time in an uncertain environment? You're throwing everything at the wind at this point in time, from cement to paint to sport to infrastructure and so on and so forth. Conglomerates at this point with an uncertain environment, do you believe that the risks are higher, or do you believe you've actually been able to diversify your risks by being a conglomerate?
So, I think, we are at this moment in time, I'm repeating this sentence, we are here, right, in India. India as a country, I don't think there is any country in the world which provides the kind of platform that we have been provided with today. So I believe personally that anything that so many entrepreneurs are sitting here, you can pick up anything, and if you put your heart to it and do it passionately, honestly, you will be a successful guy. There's absolutely nobody can stop you from being successful. Anything. I mean, for example, we are not in the paint business, or I'm not in the auto business, but I'm 100% sure.
So you're hoping to get into the paint business?
Yeah. No, I'm saying I've invested in that,
yeah.
And I'm putting now my heart and soul in the auto business. And I'm 100% sure that it'll be a super successful. There's nothing can stop me from being
Nothing
successful.
Can stop you.
Nothing can stop me from being successful. So I know Anish is here from Mahindra & Mahindra, but I know that it'll be a super success. Because this country needs a huge amount of autos, huge amount of good quality stuff.
It needs Elon Musk as well?
Elon Musk is not here. He is in the US.
But he's likely to come. Yeah.
He can't be successful in this country.
Why not? Why not? Why can't Elon Musk be successful in this country?
Because we Indians are here. We are here. He cannot produce what Mahindra can do, what Tata can do. Not possible. He can do under Trump's shadow. He can do in the US. He's super smart. There's no question about it. He's maverick. He's super smart. He's doing this spacecraft and stuff like that. He's done amazing. So I have nothing. I don't want to take anything from him in the sense that he's too smart. But to be successful in India is not an easy job.
It's not an easy job, Elon Musk. That's the cautionary message there coming in from Sajjan Jindal. But Vellayan Subbiah, I remember when we last spoke, you said that one of the mistakes that people make when they deploy their capital from cash flows that their running businesses are generating is to deploy the cash right back into the very same business. You believe, A, in the power of compounding, but B, also you believe in the power of the fact that you should be deploying the cash that you're generating into other businesses and other opportunities that look good. You're doing a whole bunch of things, from semiconductors to, a whole bunch of things at this point in time. What gives you the belief? I mean, do you believe you're unstoppable as well, as Sajjan Jindal just said?
Yeah. No, I have to learn from Sajjan, definitely. But we're from the south, so we're always a bit more cautious and conservative.
He's being very humble, but he's doing much more than me.
Yeah. But definitely, the area I'd agree with Sajjan on is that if you take the number of areas that need to get developed in this country, there's actually the number of white spaces is more than the number of spaces that are more occupied and crowded. We talked about semiconductors. There are so many sectors that just need to get built out from scratch in India because they still are such a small part of our GDP formation. We've traditionally either imported or depended on foreign companies, on MNCs, setting up that capability here. And I think that this next shift that we're beginning to see is Indian companies beginning to own and develop IP and begin to develop in these sectors. And I feel that shift is what is allowing, Sajjan and a lot of other entrepreneurs, including ourselves, get into new areas because the white spaces will have to get filled by Indian players.
Yes, white spaces will have to get filled. Mr. Mariwala, your colleagues are feeling pretty unstoppable at this point in time, but let's talk about India's consumption story because the belief and the hope is that we will see the consumption engine driving growth. How confident do you feel about that? And what would your message be to Indian entrepreneurs who are looking at India's consumers as the bet?
See, at one level, if you look at many products and many sectors, the penetration level and the usage is much, much lesser than global standards. So at one level, theoretically, there is a lot of potential. Now, the biggest question is, when will that happen, So in the last 2-3 years, our sector has undergone some pressure because of lower growth rates. And if you ask any player, they'll say it's a matter of monsoons are coming, elections are coming, now the new budget has announced some concessions.
Now income tax has been cut.
That's
also.
What I'm saying.
Yes.
So until we see that, it's a lot of wishful thinking which is going on. I think many of us don't know what is happening really. But clearly, based on whatever I have found out, this issue of inflation, maybe unemployment. And again, going back to the question of investment, which you asked Sajjan earlier, why investment is not happening. Let me say that if any industrialist sees that his capacity is utilized or sees a potential by adding more capacity, they are not going to cut short that investment. It's ultimately because of lesser demand. That's why investment is not happening. So that's why I'm saying consumption has to be given more boost than investment. Consumption happens, automatically investment will follow.
Yes, and we've seen a budget take a different approach this time by prioritizing consumption. Let me pick up a debate that started in Mumbai by your peer and your colleagues. Mr. Uday Kotak started it off saying that, look, Indian entrepreneurs and the next generation specifically needs to get out there, work hard, and not get into running family offices too early on. It was followed up by Harsh Goenka saying exactly the same thing, that, look, we need the entrepreneurial spirit back. We need Indian entrepreneurs and the next generation to sweat it out as opposed to speculating, trading, and running family offices. Sajjan Jindal, do you believe that the next generation is happy running family offices as opposed to running businesses? And is this a problem?
So Uday is a very good friend, and we always spar on topics, yeah. And on this point, I agree with Uday that the next generation tends to use the money which the father has earned and invest rather than working himself, right? So when my son came back from Harvard and he wanted to start a venture fund, and he picked up one company in Bangalore and he said, I want to invest in this company which was making EV two-wheelers. And I told him, so I also said, okay, this is his first project. He wanted to, so he said that, Dad, why don't you come along with me? I said, okay, I'll come. Went to Bangalore, visited this factory, amazing plant, amazing product. And then I came back to Bombay in the aircraft. Parth asked me, what do you think about it? I said, not at all a good idea. Because I want you to work, I want you to make money and not use my money, what I have earned over the years, and then multiply that. That's not my idea. So, and then he changed. And then later on, I think Pawan Munjal invested in that company. What we were to invest, Pawan invested in that company. And, but that's because he earned the money himself. So not his son did not invest. So, so therefore, I completely agree that the next generation, but to a point, Harsh Goenka's son is smarter than Harsh Goenka, right? And he's really doing an extremely good job. So to say that and Uday's son, Jay, is extremely smart. Yes. And he's now working in the bank and doing extremely well. So the next generation, most of them are extremely smart, smarter than us. My son is smarter than me. And most of our sons, our daughters are smarter than us. They have to be given the right direction by the parent that, you need to invest, you need to work hard, you need to build yourself and not use your father's money. So that's my take.
And not use your father's. Yes, Mr. Mariwala.
So I think I would agree with what Sajjan is saying. I think the root cause is the children or the family, I think the family has to set the right example in terms of creating the right culture of talking about business, take them, even if they're young, take them to factories, market visits, expose them. And the whole aspiration of the younger generation is built by what the family talks about every day on a dinner table, even if they are young. I think the problem is with the parents in terms of giving them very easy way of enjoying wealth, not putting that kind of, I wouldn't call it pressure, but expectations from them. I think the learning is more at the elders rather than the youngsters. And you can't blame the youngsters. They have been brought up in a certain way, and they will behave in a certain way if they've been brought up in a certain way.
Vellayan Subbiah, as a fourth generation entrepreneur, how do you have to weigh in on this debate?
No, I totally concur with both what Sajjan and Harsh said. First off, it is actually a responsibility of the previous generation to ensure that it's exciting enough for the next generation to come into the business, right? And they have to create an environment where part of it is excitement, but I also think it's a responsibility, right? Because if you think of nation building, who has a better platform than these kids, right? They, the parents have already done the hard work, or perhaps 3 generations have done the hard work. And then they have platform, they have network, they have access, right? They have capital, they have everything that entrepreneurs really struggle for. First generation entrepreneurs really struggle for. So they don't use that platform to go, I always say there's the 0 to 1s, right? That Shailendra funds, then there's the 1 to 10s that Shweta funds. And then, when you've already got this advantage, you're at 10. If you're not thinking of 10 to 100 or 100 to 1,000, then I think you're doing a massive disservice to the country, right? Because honestly, that opportunity has been given to us because we were in this country, right? We kind of started in this country. We had that opportunity starting from here. And I'd say it's really, it becomes their responsibility, but it's only going to happen if they're kind of developed in the right way, like Harsh said, conversations at the dinner table. What do they feel their responsibility should be? And is it exciting
What are the conversations on your dinner table?
Oh, definitely. I think both my kids, one just finished his undergrad in the US and he's come straight back. And the other one's also going to come straight back. And I think definitely they're going to join the business and start looking at how we can grow things from here.
Join the business. But Mr. Mariwala, we've got a room full of entrepreneurs here, and I think it would be helpful for everyone to hear from you. What are the 2 or 3 entrepreneurial lessons that you abide by, that you would like to leave these young entrepreneurs with?
So I would say 3 things. One is you create a right to win where you are superior compared to others in terms of not offering a me-too product, but something innovative, pioneering, or transformational. It could be technology-based, it could be anything depending on your business. Secondly, you need to have the right talent and the right culture. Talent will only help you execute. If you don't have the right talent, culture, and empowerment, things will not happen. Third is governance. I think governance is equally important, irrespective of the size of the organization. I think many smaller entrepreneurs think that I will improve on my governance when I become larger. But you're sowing the seeds of taking shortcuts when you're small, and it'll be very difficult for you to change that culture when you grow up.
Focus, I know that's another thing that you firmly believed in.
Yes, I'm a big believer in focus. He's different than me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to ask you. They're spreading in all other directions, but you decided to go deeper and deeper into one sector.
There will be very few Sajjan Jindals in this world.
We need the Harsh Mariwala. We need the Harsh Mariwala and the
focus leads to
Sajjan
depth,
Jindals.
and depth leads to excellence. And I think you have to be excellent in whatever you do. But if you try to do too many, at least I am not able to do too many diverse things. So I'm of the belief of focus,
You're of the belief of focus. But Vellayan, I want to come to you. The entrepreneurial lessons that you live by, as well as organizational structures. I know that you believe that debottlenecking has to start at the top.
Yeah, so definitely in terms of, I would actually say that I agree with the point on focus, but I have a slightly different perspective on it. I think the two aspects that I bring to it, I think one is thinking about organizational energy. Right? I really feel that organizations are all about how much energy you can generate in them, right? And it's possible for good leaders to, and I think a lot of great examples here, which don't just have a higher state of energy themselves, but are able to get the organizational energy level up. Right? And so I'm an engineer by background, so I just look at it and say that the organizational energy is nothing but a summation of the energy of the people in it. And the way I think of it is, if you think of it as a vector, instead of looking at it as a scalar, which it is, energy, the element you add to it is focus, right? So if you can get a lot of energy in an organization, get it very focused on a set of tasks, it tends to be more successful. And I think that has to become the core of organizational design. A lot of the organizational design we've got comes from the military, right? And it's absolutely the wrong example of what needs to be done in corporates.
So you're saying command and control is not the way to go?
No, definitely not. Definitely not in organizations, no.
Mr. Jindal, the entrepreneurial lessons that you live by, and today in an environment of great degree of uncertainty and volatility that we live in, what do adaptability, what do agility mean to you from an organizational standpoint?
No, I think both of them have said it very, very rightly, that the organization needs energy, it needs commitment, it needs dedication, it needs leadership, it needs the leader to lead and not to follow. So these are the basic things that any organization requires to grow. But because I'm taking advantage of, there are so many entrepreneurs who are in this hall here today, and I'm a real optimist. I have gone through difficult times, but just because I'm a real optimist and I really believe in this country, I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to really go out there, invest in this country, build in their businesses, and just grow the businesses. There's nothing should stop you.
No golden card.
Sorry?
No golden card.
No golden card required. You should just kick it. You don't need any golden card. You have to be here, build this nation, and that is going to give you the biggest amount of results.
Let me end by asking, I know our time's up, but I'm going to get one quick second in with each one of you. We've been talking about success, and we're celebrating success here. But along with success, we have to contend with failure. As Mr. Mariwala was pointing out, not everything you do, works out. Dealing with failure, Mr. Mariwala, I'll start by asking you, what has been the mantra of dealing and coping with failure?
It's just learning. Sometimes you win, you don't lose, but you always learn.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you never lose, you only learn from that experience. That's a wonderful way to put it. Vellayan?
Yeah, I actually don't believe that failure exists, right? I think it only exists because we compare it to something else, right? Otherwise, it doesn't exist.
So failure doesn't exist. Failure can, and hence is not fatal.
Absolutely, it doesn't happen.
Mr. Jindal?
No, I believe that if you don't fail, that means you have not succeeded. So you have to fall. If you are a horse rider, if you don't fall, you will never become a good rider. So you have to fail to succeed. Otherwise, you will never enjoy your success.
Well, to enjoying more success, gentlemen, we wish you the very best of luck, and congratulations to all the winners here at the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. May you continue to learn, may you continue to succeed, and may you continue to grow in India and outside as well. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen, for joining us here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause.
Don't stop the applause, ladies and gentlemen. We have not had one collective applause. Thank you. We will reuse this for everything. Thank you. And thank you so much, Shreen Bhan, and all our wonderful panelists for such a wonderful chat. Thank you very much. A big round of applause to our jury for all the amazing and careful thought and effort that they have put into it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce you to our finalists themselves. Men and women entrepreneurs who have excelled through the year 2024. They have done the extraordinary for their organizations and the country. So with that, let's take a look at the entrepreneurial journeys of these exceptional men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, the stories of our 2024 finalists in film. Enjoy.
Born into a joint business family, Himanshu Baid's first few years in business were filled with struggle.
My dad always was an entrepreneur, and India was never known for making medical devices, and this business idea about Polymed came from him. I really want to do it, and my brother Rishi, he also wanted to do it. Then we decided to move to Delhi. No house, no car.
Then came the first inflection point for Polymed.
So we started with the IV catheters, but then we failed and failed. Gradually, when the performance is there, that's where we started, getting more and more people using the product. And really the turning point came in 2001, where we started exports in a big way. Of course, then COVID came. One of very close friend, he called me and said, Himanshu, what are you doing? It's COVID, we are importing, products are short and you're not growing. You need to raise capital. I think that call was a game-changing call. He helped me to make a 10-year vision. To implement this, you need capital. Invest in new categories. So that gave us the wings to fly.
The way he leads the company and taken it to the heights that it has gone, every day it's a proud moment for us.
Today, with a revenue of 1,375 crore rupees, more than 200 products, and sales in more than 125 countries, Himanshu Baid has an even bigger vision for the future.
I want to make Polymed as one of the finest companies in the world. At least people should say Make in India products are also the best quality product.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Himanshu Baid. After studying at Wharton and Columbia, Pirosha Godrej came back to India to join his family business.
I joined Godrej Properties as a management intern and worked in the business for 2 years. Then went back to Columbia University to get an MBA and came back, started as an executive director and took over as the MD and CEO of that business.
But those early years at Godrej Properties were filled with challenges.
Lots of challenges in a real estate business. I think a heavily regulated industry. And I think focus for us has always been to build strong management teams. It's a sector that I think typically is very, very reliant on the promoter. And our view was that that is not a very scalable model. We were also quite clear at an early stage to make this the first national real estate developer. And today we are quite spread out through the country, and over the last couple of years have been the largest developer in the country by sales.
Most of Godrej Properties' success is because of his leadership. So I think he's really changed the model and made the company what it is.
Today, with over 100 million square feet under development, with 28,800 crore rupees of booking value, and over 110 projects across India, Pirojsha Godrej has built a solid foundation for the future.
As India urbanizes and Indian income levels rise, Godrej Properties is ideally positioned to participate in that opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pirojsha Godrej. After a stellar career in the insurance industry, Kamesh Goyal decided to strike out on his own.
I decided to start first with digit insurance. One of the principles we laid down was that we will over-invest in technology. So we decided that at the time of claims or otherwise, we'll not ask for any paper. And we started seeing that the customer reviews are very good. And we said, why not start a travel insurance product? And we also made the whole process of claim settlement automated. Then we felt that for us to touch millennials, the most important asset they have is mobile phones. On the other hand, we were doing motor insurance, fire insurance. So I think digital basically helps you to expand fast.
But the turning point came with the COVID pandemic.
COVID came and we introduced world's first COVID health insurance. And then Delta wave came in April 21. And every insurance company withdrew from giving COVID health insurance cover. I can say that it turned out to be the most profitable product we had. So it is just fascinating what all you can do in insurance.
He's always believed tech is the future and tech will help us solve the problems which we are trying to do.
Today, with more than 4,500 people, over 9,000 crore rupees in revenue, and a customer in almost every pin code of India, Kamesh Goyal has a bigger vision for the future.
Our vision is to cover 1 crore people lives in protection. On that, we are on a good path.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kamesh Goyal. After dropping out of the 12th grade, Nitin Kamath started trading in the stock markets.
I used to stay in the vicinity of Marwadis, and some of these friends got me hooked on to trading the markets. 2005, met a gentleman in the gym. He asked me what I do. I told I trade the markets. He cut a check for 25 lakh rupees. Slowly that one account became more accounts.
In 2010, he decided to bootstrap his own trading platform.
Then we started Zerodha. 2015 December, we decided, why don't we go zero brokerage on equity investing? 30 minutes a decision was taken, and that mixed with Aadhaar for account opening, because account opening was a very tedious process. Both of that combined together was really the first tipping point in our business. Then we launched Coin, which was a direct mutual fund platform. Another thing we did in 2016 was Rainmatter, and were the first brokers anywhere in the world to open up a bunch of APIs and invited startups to come build on top of us. Then COVID happened. We were all thinking that this is the end. But it really got the whole new generation of Indians to invest in the markets, to trade. We've grown 8x, 9x in the last 4-5 years. The Rainmatter initiative has now invested in 150 companies, and we've invested close to 750 crores. And what started off as only fintech slowly extended into health, climate, storytelling.
Nitin had a really great foresight that the future of financial markets involved high-quality consumer technology.
Today, with a lean team of 1,200 people, a user base of 16 million, and profits of 5,500 crore rupees in FY24, Nitin Kamath is clear about his purpose.
As long as someone thinks of Zerodha, thinks that these guys existed and I did better, that's the thing we want to leave behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nitin Kamath. After doing his CA and gaining valuable experience in blue-chip corporates, Rajesh Mago decided to enter the startup space.
You know, as everybody knows, Deep is the founder of Make My Trip. And the vision was very clear that we would be an internet-based business model. We were supposed to get the second tranche. We got part of it. We did not get, the other half. I remember he picking up the phone and calling me, and if you want to reconsider. And I said, listen, Deep, we'll sink or swim together.
However, it was just a matter of time before Make My Trip took off.
There was a time that came when internet started opening up, low-cost carriers came in, IRCTC was born, payment gateway systems started improving, and then we took off. And the next phase of business for us was the hotel business, the high growth phase from 2006 to 2010, so much so that we were sort of ready to go IPO, and that too in the US. And then two brands, Go Avibo Group and Redbus brand, became part of the family, and then we suddenly had three brands. We've been sort of building to be a comprehensive shop for travel for the Indian travelers.
And for me, I don't think there was anyone who can manage a travel business through COVID and bring it back. Full credit to Rajesh for that.
Today, with more than 4,300 people and a revenue of over 6,500 crore rupees, Rajesh Mago feels Make My Trip is all set to soar.
The journey continues in terms of just further growth. At the end of the day, it has to make customers happy. Best is yet to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rajesh Mago. After getting a master's in engineering from the USA, Sameer Nigam started his career with a bold step.
I had a campus offer from Microsoft, gave that up and joined a consumer internet company called Shopzilla. And then started up with my co-founders, and we decided we want to build the iTunes for India. That company got acquired by Flipkart in 2011. Then Flipkart decided to do a big billion day sale. 10 million people attempted to pay with cards. 9 million transactions failed. We decided that this is the problem that we want to solve first. We said we'll call the company PhonePe.
A series of opportunities and innovations saw PhonePe grow exponentially.
Demonetization got announced. And suddenly, we are the one non-banking app which allows you to transfer money real time from your bank. We went from 0 to 10 million users in the 3 months after that. And then Walmart had acquired Flipkart, and by virtue, we were a subsidiary there. And we continue to do innovative things. We have these smart speakers with shopkeepers. When you make a payment, you hear Amitabh Bachchan's voice, and we've proven that you can make money with razor-thin unit economics if you achieve population scale.
To build something that will be used by every Indian is something that Sameer brings to the table.
Today, with over 59 crore lifetime registered users and processing over 31 crore transactions daily across India, Sameer Nigam has an even bigger dream for PhonePe.
What keeps us going every day, trying to find solutions for the next 50 million and the next 50 million Indians, we are just getting started.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sameer Nigam. Armed with a master's in chemical engineering from Imperial College, UK, Meher Padamji came back to India to an unexpected offer.
My father said, would you like to start at Thermax? And I said, why not? I got married in between. Then my parents thought that it would be a great idea for both my husband and me to go overseas. This was one of our subsidiaries. So we came up with some really amazing applications.
Then tragedy struck the family.
My father suddenly passed away. My mom had to take over. I had to join the board. We brought in a consultant to come in. So we took many decisions to get back to our core, which was energy, environment, and chemicals. And then Anu decided to step down, made me chairperson. So we went into selective internationalization. And that's when the whole sustainable solutions in energy and environment came about. And over time, all our investments now have been into more sustainable businesses. It's things like that that give a lot of us a kick.
Well, it's under her leadership that Thermax has become greener. We have grown faster.
Today, with 5,225 employees and a revenue of 9,323 crore rupees, Meher Padamji is set to guide Thermax into an even brighter future.
There is so much opportunity. How do we think of sustainability in everything that we do? We are here for the long run.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Meher Padamji. When he was barely 18, Pradeep Rathod decided to join his family business.
My father always wanted me to travel abroad, so I used to go and shop some plastic samples. So I brought a soap case for the first time. That was the super success, and after that we started our houseware journey. So we were much way ahead and the products were doing very good. And 86 we started thermoware, and then we started 2 division, furniture and pen. It was much ahead of our peers that time, and we knew plastic better than any of the pen guys. And that's why Cello could become the #1 player in 5 years flat.
Then Pradeep Rathod decided to diversify.
We thought, okay, now we need to enter into some other line. Let us expand into all the other materials which are household related. That's where first we started opalware. Then we created Puro, which changed the whole dynamics of the Indian industry, where the hydrant water bottles came into. And 2019, my father said, you have to start the pen again. Then we started with Unomax. Unomax grew very well. Then we thought, okay, now let's go into glass. So now we have created a name which is there in each and every household in India.
In terms of the innovation that he got into the country, kind of globalized it, that is his biggest success.
Today, with the most diversified product portfolio and 14 manufacturing facilities, Pradeep Rathod believes Cello is all set for a great tomorrow.
All the products has to be doubled. You need the product, and that will grow at a very good level.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pradeep Rathod. After a PhD from Carnegie Mellon and a short stint in consulting, Dr. Anish Shah decided to join GE.
GE was a great learning experience. After 7 years at GE, I moved to Bank of America. At the end of my stint there, I got a call from GE saying, come back to your dream role, which was CEO of GE Capital India.
Then Dr. Anish Shah joined the Mahindra Group, first as head of group strategy, then as group CFO, until finally he was elevated to group CEO.
So I started this transition in April 2020 with the lockdown. We couldn't sell anything. There were a number of actions we had to take. We identified a number of loss-making businesses and either turned them around or exited them. The next phase was a pivot to growth, which was setting up what we call growth gems. Businesses that were very well positioned in the industry, but were small. We set a 5x challenge for them. Our growth gems went from a collective valuation of less than $1 billion to $4.5 billion or so. Our larger businesses continued on a very strong track, and that gave us a lot more confidence to be able to say, let's deliver scale in the third phase.
He has not just taken market capitalization to its highest level, but has also set appropriate trajectory for the future of the company.
Today, with over 1,93,000 crore rupees of cumulative revenue across more than 20 lines of business, Dr. Anish Shah feels the Mahindra Group is on the road to even greater success.
Today, Mahindra Group plays across 70% of India's growth over the next decade. We've always believed that if you lead with purpose, profits will follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Anish Shah.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what truly amazing and inspiring stories. Now, together, these 9 finalists represent a revenue of a whopping 1,86,000 crore rupees. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up once more for our finalists. Thank you. And with that, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our esteemed jury. Their hard work and their incredible contribution to this wonderful evening is unbelievable. Well, let's take a look at this through a short film. Take a look.
EOY has been, doing this award for entrepreneurs, and it's really helped the country a lot.
And the fact that it's a global award offers, the entrepreneurs that opportunity to understand what is going on a world scale.
And it just pushes your benchmarks higher.
And I think anything that you can create such an aura around further supports and fosters entrepreneurship in India.
I felt that this was a very elaborate and it was run very professionally.
It actually pooled the knowledge and experience of all those who were part of the jury.
There are much more interaction now with new kinds of companies.
And they all have one thing in common, which is the ability to innovate with extremely high resilience.
And it really captured the essence of what this country is about, really where the entrepreneurs are.
So all of the finalists were just terrific companies, and I think we've got a great set of winners today.
Enjoy this award. It's very, very prestigious.
That's a tough job. Don't envy them at all, but can't thank them enough. And with that now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our chief guest of the evening. Please welcome with a huge round of applause the Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Bhupinder Yadav ji. Sir, thank you so much for being here and addressing the audience. Thank you.
आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। एक संयोग था कि मैं थोड़ा आने में मुझे देरी हो रही थी। टीडी का वर्ल्ड सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट का प्रोग्राम था। जैसे ही लोधी रोड पे मैं बाहर निकला तो मैंने EY के प्रोग्राम को देखा कि लाइव हो गया क्या। मैं इतने में अपना फ़ोन पे EOY देखने लगा और मेरे को लगा कि आज ये बता देना चाहिए कि EOY 102 है, ज़्यादा प्योरीफायर की ज़रूरत नहीं। और फिर कोई संयोग ही था कि मैंने कहा कितना टाइम लगेगा, ट्रैफिक है, तो मेवानी जी कह रहे थे कि बहुत लोग ट्रैफिक में फंस गए हैं। मैंने कहा ये कोई कोइंसिडेंस है कि आज के इस प्रोग्राम में मेरे को दूसरी बार आने का अवसर मिला है। भारत में जिसको जोखिम लेना कहा जाता है और जो सम्मान का शब्द है वो उद्योग है। लेकिन हमने 70 साल के एक लंबे दौर में एक ऐसी व्यवस्था को जन्म दिया जिनको लगता था कि शायद वेल्दी होना ये ठीक नहीं है। इस देश में वेल्दी होना ये गौरव का विषय बनेगा जो मोदी जी ने बनाया, यही विकसित भारत की कहानी को भी बनाएगा। इस देश में हर आदमी को वेल्दी होना चाहिए। और उद्योग लगाने के पिछले 10 साल में जो हमारे देश की सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि है, जितने एयरपोर्ट थे वो 3 गुना बढ़े, जितने हाईवेज थे उनकी संख्या काफ़ी बढ़ी, जितने क्लियरेंस थे उनको भी काफ़ी संख्या में दिया गया। मुझे याद है जब 2014 में इस देश में इंडस्ट्रियल क्लियरेंस दी जाती थी तो लगभग 350 दिन लगते थे। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमको विज़न दिया कि आपको क्लियरेंस में डिजिटली आप किस प्रकार से इंटरवेन कर सकते हैं। और नॉर्मली इंडस्ट्री में क्लियरेंस 4 चीज़ों की रहती है। एनवायरमेंटल क्लियरेंस रहती है, उसके बाद वाइल्ड लाइफ क्लियरेंस रहती है, उसके बाद फॉरेस्ट क्लियरेंस रहती है और उसके बाद CRZ क्लियरेंस रहती है। इससे पहले देश में चारों चीज़ें अलग अलग दिशा में चला करती थी। लेकिन इस सरकार ने जो परिवेश पोर्टल हम लोग लेकर के आए हैं, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ व्यक्ति आपस में बात करते हैं लेकिन फाइलें बात नहीं करती, लेकिन परमिशन में परिवेश को लाकर हमने फाइलों को आपस में बात करना सिखाया और जो क्लियरेंस पहले 360 डेज में होती थी उसको घटाकर हम 89 डेज में लेकर के आए हैं, क्योंकि इस देश में उद्योग को बढ़ाने के लिए आवश्यक है। गवर्नेंस में ट्रांसपेरेंसी के लिए पिछले 10 साल में इस देश में जो बड़ा परिवर्तन हुआ है कि सरकार कंसिस्टेंसी और कंटिन्यूटी के साथ एक पॉलिसी के ऊपर चली है, चाहे पॉलिटिकली हो, चाहे इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी का विषय हो। और मैं जब अभी जिन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को प्राइज़ मिले हैं उनमें जो सफल होने की बात मैं देख रहा था, वो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हर एक की सफलता के पीछे भारत का पिछले 10 साल में जो डिजिटल एम्पावरमेंट हुआ है उसके कारण में सबकी सफलता की कहानी भी छिपी हुई नज़र आ रही है। चाहे मेक माई ट्रिप हो, चाहे रियल एस्टेट का विषय हो, चाहे हेल्थ केयर के विषय हो, जितनी भी सक्सेस स्टोरी है, हमारा जो डिजिटल प्रोग्रेस जो हमने एक बहुत साउंड तरीके से किया है। और ये आज आप लोग यहाँ पर बैठे हैं, EY के जो देश के प्रमुख चुनिंदा लोग हैं, आप बैठे हैं, लेकिन मैं आपको हिंदुस्तान के बहुत दूर गांव की कहानी में भी मैं बताऊंगा कि वहाँ के भी नौजवानों में इतना ही बड़ा इंस्पिरेशन है और इसमें कोई शक नहीं है कि आने वाले 5 सालों में वो लोग भी इसी तरह के पुरस्कार पाएंगे, क्योंकि देश अब तरक्की के रास्ते पे बढ़ गया है। मैं यहाँ पर डिबेट को सुन रहा था, सज्जन जी और बाकी लोग एक विषय कह रहे थे, हिंदुस्तान को दुनिया में अगर पहचाना जाता है तो अपनी विजडम के कारण पहचाना जाता है। दुनिया में लोग ये मानते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान की जो ट्रेडिशनल वैल्यूज़ रही है, जो विजडम रही है, वो दुनिया को एक रास्ता दिखा सकती है। मैं मजाक में कह रहा हूँ, बुरा मत मानना। मैं यहाँ सुन रहा था कि डिनर टेबल पे बिजनेस की बात करते हैं तो बिजनेस टेबल पे लंच की बात करते हैं। यही विजडम है कि डिनर टेबल पे वैल्यूज़ की बात होनी चाहिए और बिजनेस टेबल पे बिजनेस की बात होनी चाहिए। इतना अगर अंतर आ जाए तो वही डिसिप्लिन हमारे देश को बढ़ा सकता है। लगातार देश के जो एक विषय है कि जो पर्टिकुलर समय में पर्टिकुलर बात होनी चाहिए, उसमें कहीं लंबे समय तक हमारे देश ने अपने आप को खोया है। पिछले 10 सालों में मोदी जी के शासनकाल में राइट डिसीजन राइट टाइम पे लिए गए हैं, उसके कारण आज देश में एक वातावरण बना है। मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूँ और मैं यहाँ पे सुन भी रहा था कि नए जो हमारे एंटरप्रेनर आ रहे हैं, नए जो लोग बढ़ रहे हैं, एक एंटरप्रेनर जो अपना छोटा उद्योग शुरू करता है, शुरुआत तो वो अपने लिए करता है, लेकिन बाद में उस उद्योग को चलाने की उसको सोसाइटी के प्रति एक जिम्मेदारी उसकी अपनी निकल करके आती है। और जब हम सोसाइटी के प्रति जिम्मेदारी को लेकर के आते हैं तो हमारा जो विज़न है वो विज़न बड़ा होना चाहिए। आज के समय में जो सबसे बड़ी समस्या है कि हर आदमी को रातों रात सफलता चाहिए, और रातों रात सफलता भी और कहीं नहीं चाहिए, डिजिटली चाहिए। सफलता का जो रास्ता है वो रातों रात कभी नहीं आ सकता है। किसी भी बिजनेस और एंटरप्रेन्योर को सफल होने के लिए 10 साल लगते ही हैं, लेकिन उसमें पेशेंस बना रहे, अगर वो रहेगा तो असफल होने का कोई कारण ही नहीं है। जीवन में कोई सफल और असफल होता ही नहीं है। हम जो कुछ देखते हैं वो हमारा मन स्वीकार करता है। मन में जो जितने विचार आते हैं वो हजारों विचार मन में आते रहते हैं, लेकिन मन में जो विचार आते हैं उस पर डिसीजन और डाउट करने का काम ये हमारे इंटेलेक्ट का है, ये बुद्धि का है। और डिसीजन और डाउट पे चलने का काम ये हमारी कॉन्शियसनेस का है। इन तीनों को एक लाइन में करने को ही हमारे यहाँ के फिलॉसफी में माइंड, बॉडी और सोल का इंटीग्रेशन कहा जाता है। यही हिंदुस्तान का विजडम है। जिस दिन इस देश के एंटरप्रेन्योर ये मान कर के खड़े हो जाएंगे कि हमारा रास्ता अपनी सफलता का तो है, लेकिन हमारा रास्ता देश की वेल्थ को बढ़ाने का है, और देश अब मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में ये मानने लगा है कि जो देश की वेल्थ को बढ़ा रहे हैं वो भी एक सैनिक जैसा ही कार्य है, वो भी देश सेवा का कार्य है। ये दोनों का इंटीग्रेशन ही एक विकसित भारत बनाएगा। और एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का ये जो अवार्ड है ये दिल्ली तक सीमित ना रहे, ये हिंदुस्तान के कोने कोने तक जाकर उसको प्रोत्साहित करे। ऐसी मैं शुभकामनाएं EY को दूंगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. It is always such a pleasure and so wonderful to hear you speak. Thank you once again. And with that, may I now invite back on stage Mr. Rajiv Memani and our jury chair, Mr. Sajjan Jindal, to present the awards for the evening. Sir, thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, our first award is for a veritable legend, a person whose contribution to his industry and indeed the nation goes beyond just a single year or even a decade. Rather, his contribution extends to an entire lifetime. The EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award. With that, may I invite our jury chair, Mr. Sajjan Jindal, to please read out the citation and announce the winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor and privilege to read the citation for Mr. Kamath for Lifetime Achievement Award. Mr. Kamath is my mentor. I am standing here today because of Mr. Kamath's vision and his support to me. And there are many many entrepreneurs in this country who have been supported by Mr. Kamath, and they have now are building this nation. So our Lifetime Achievement Award winner is a global giant in the world of financial services, a multifaceted leader who manages complexities without losing sight of the basics. He laid the foundation for the sustained market leadership of one of India's largest banks through technology-driven innovations. Under his stewardship, ICICI Bank also became the first Indian company to list on the New York Stock Exchange. As a captain who has steered companies through many challenges, his efforts in governance have made him a trusted advisor much beyond the sphere of financial services. He was appointed as the first president of the BRICS New Development Bank in Shanghai, served as the non-executive chairman of Infosys, and is currently serving as the chairman of Geo Financial Services. The list of accolades is long and distinguished, including the Padma Bhushan in 2008. He has graced EOY awards in the past as the jury chair, and today we are honored to confer on him the Entrepreneur of the Year 2024 Lifetime Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hand together for Mr. K.V. Kamath.
Thank you so much, sir. And before we bring Mr. K.V. Kamath up on stage, let's take a look at his life in film.
The son of a modest businessman, K.V. Kamath joined ICICI almost by serendipity.
So I went to Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, to do my MBA. And a professor of mine then asked me, give me your resume. Said, I'm sending it to ICICI. I joined ICICI in 1971.
As he rose in ICICI, K.V. Kamath's career took an unexpected turn.
88, I had an offer from the Asian Development Bank to leave. I talked to Mr. Vagul. He said, you should go. By 1990, Mr. Vagul told me, you extend for another year. Out of the blue, sometime in 1995, I got a call from Mr. Vagul that he said, I'm stepping down and I want you to take over from me. I joined in May of 1996 as CEO of ICICI, and we had to reinvent ourselves. We said we could look at retail, we could look at other forms of corporate lending. By then, of course, the bank was growing at a modest pace, but we said let's put some capital into the bank also. And by 2001, 2002, we said we will do a reverse merger, so you become a bank. You now have to scale up a bank. The only way out is technology. First was ATMs. So we said in the first year we'll roll out 1,000 ATMs. Post 2008, the infrastructure effort kept going on. great pace. And of course, I had stepped down in 2009.
With further stints at Infosys, New Development Bank, NABFID, and now Geo Financial Services, KV Kamath has shown an abiding hunger to contribute to his industry and his nation.
Things are happening at such a rapid pace that I'm enjoying myself. My journey, probably I'll say, I will put a stop to it if I stop enjoying myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Padma Bhushan, Mr. KV Kamath.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, let us welcome the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award winner 2024, Padma Bhushan, Mr. KV Kamath. Congratulations, sir. I'm going to request you to please say a few words on this wonderful occasion. Yes.
Thank you and good evening. Thank you, members of the jury. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for so graciously handing over the recognition to me. I feel humbled, and all I have is a few moments to remember and thank all the people who have made this possible. I think it starts with, of course, my parents, my family, without whom this would not have been possible. My mentors, and indeed, as Sajjan said, all the clients who have made me happy, who have made India happy and India proud, and that makes me happy. So I accept this great humility as a recognition of what my team has done and what my clientele has built for India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We truly do value your incredible presence here and everything you have done through your incredible journey. Your work has been an example for all of us to live by. Thank you so much, sir. And with that now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to present the Special Jury Award. The jury has decided to give a Special Jury Award to recognize a person who has made a profound impact, not just on one particular sector or even a business, but on our entire nation. A person who has not just racked up achievement after achievement, but also filled our hearts with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, the Special Jury Award. And now, to join our wonderful presenters on stage, I would like to invite our jury member, Mr. Dinesh Khara, to please grace the stage and read out the citation for our winner. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Well, the Special Jury Award goes to Dr. S. Somnath. He is the 10th chairman of ISRO and the force behind some of its greatest achievements. With his astute leadership and perseverance, he led the successful launch and landing of Chandrayaan-3 on the moon. His achievement made India the first and so far the only country to land its satellite near the moon's south pole, and did so at a fraction of the cost incurred by other international lunar missions. He had several missions, including the development of the small satellite launch vehicle, the reusable landing vehicle Pushpak. With his deep values of humility, teamwork, and collaboration, he has now not only provided impetus for India's fledgling space economy, but also inspired a new generation of space entrepreneurs. In recognition of his path-breaking contribution to our nation, the EOY jury has decided to confer a Special Jury Award on Dr. S. Somanathan. Ladies and gentlemen, Let us all give applause to Dr. Somnath.
Thank you so much, sir. And before we invite Dr. Somnath on stage, we have a film paying a tribute to his illustrious and incredible career. Take a look.
After joining his dream organization, ISRO, Dr. S. Somnath was first placed in India's PSLV program, where he learnt an invaluable lesson: how to deal with failure.
PSLV first launch was not successful. There was an issue which caused the re-entry of the satellite into the ocean. We packed everything and leave back home. In the next 9 months, we were back again for the next launch, and that was successful. Then the idea of Chandrayaan 2 came. We were to go and land on the moon. But going and landing on the moon, there was no rocket available. So I was in charge of the whole of the project, building the rocket, creating facilities across centers, designing, completing all the qualification programs. The mission was successful. We only had a problem in the last phase of the mission. During that period only, I became the Secretary of Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, and Chandrayaan 3 became successful.
While Dr. S. Somnath has led many other exciting national missions, an interesting challenge was thrown at him by the private sector.
Sri Mittal, the Bharati Airtel, told me that, can you do a launch for my OneWeb satellites? I said, how many satellites? He said, 36 satellites. Oh, and I said, I will take this mission because it is a commercial launch, so it will give me a good money. But then I don't know how to do this. Then we brainstormed on this. Now this is the first time I have to use the cryogenic stage to be rotated, moved, and I have to eject satellite. And nobody in the world has ever done this. And we did it perfectly.
Today, after almost 4 decades at ISRO, Dr. S. Somnath believes his biggest contribution is simple.
I personally feel that I was able to develop a lot of people. My creations are those people, not really the rockets.
Ladies and gentlemen, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Special Jury Award winner, Dr. S. Somnath.
That is right, the winner of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Special Jury Award, Dr. S. Somnath. Round of applause, please. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much for this great honor that you have bestowed upon me and on ISRO for this great accomplishment of landing on the moon. And I take this award on behalf of the team ISRO, who has toiled many years together to create this technology power in this country. And I want to tell you that it is possible for us to excel in this domain of high technology, building rockets, building spacecrafts, traveling to moon and Mars and landing very safely. And you know, it is not only that we did land on the southern part of the moon very first time successfully, and we are the only nation we achieved the successful orbiting of Mars in the very first time ever. And we have created the ecosystem of space technology in this country. And the only dream that remains for me is to create entrepreneurs, enterprises in this country in the private sector who will be able to take on the work we did in ISRO to greater heights and scale that is needed for this nation. And we are a huge country that it has great potential to use technologies and applications out of this, what we have done. And this is the dream yet to be accomplished. And with the opening of the space sector announced by our Honorable Prime Minister, I'm very sure the budding entrepreneurs who are coming into space sector will make this change happen, and we will be a catalyst for doing it. Thank you so much for this honor once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Congratulations once again, sir. And thank you so much, Mr. Khara, for so graciously reading out that citation. Congratulations, sir. It is a pleasure to share space with you. Full pun intended. I thought about that for 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on, I would like to once again take a moment to thank our sponsors, our mobility sponsor, Nexa, and our luxury realty partner, India, Sotheby's International Realty. Thank you all so much for our support. It's nice to have all these wonderful international brands coming to India. I guess we can call it globalization, a mix of global and local. Though I don't think you can completely globalize everything. Like a couple of days ago, I was watching the Oscars, and interesting piece of trivia is that the statue, the Oscar statue, is actually named after someone's uncle. It was Uncle Oscar, and that's why it's called the Oscar. Now, I don't know if that would completely work in India. How would it sound? And the best actor, the Karsan Kakaji Award goes to. No, it's just not gonna fly. Not everything flies. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we return to our wonderful awards. And we're about to end the weeks and months of suspense as we come to the first category award for the evening. Now, this category recognizes and rewards entrepreneurs whose products improve our lives in small ways and on a daily basis. The category is Consumer Products and Retail. And with that, I would like to invite our jury member, Ms. Shweta Jalan, to please grace the stage and announce the winner. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
My honor to announce someone who has really built a consumer powerhouse after using a soap case as an example in India. This entrepreneur has transformed his company into a consumer good powerhouse focusing on fast growth, diversification and innovation, supported by capacity building. With a 22% market share, he has 17,000 SKUs in his company, starting, like I said, from simple products like pen and soap cases. And his IPO was subscribed 59 times when they listed. This entrepreneur has demonstrated what building a trusted consumer brand means in India. The winner of the Entrepreneur of the Year, Consumer Products and Retail category is none other than Pradeep Rathore of Cello World.
Congratulations, sir. Let's have a huge round of applause. Thank you, sir, and congratulations. Ms. Jalan, I'm going to request you to please stay on stage as we introduce our next category. Congratulations, sir. Our next category of awards is more than just an award. It is a salute to the entrepreneurs who take care of the most precious thing we own, human life. And the category is Life Sciences and Healthcare. Ma'am, I request you to please announce the winner.
The winner in this category has led his family's niche manufacturing business into a comprehensive healthcare solution provider. As he told us earlier in the video, he did that with very little capital or no capital to start with in his pocket. So it's really a commendable feat. Through innovation and joint ventures, he has the distinction of leading the company to become the largest Indian medical consumable exporter from India. The winner of the Entrepreneur of the Year, Life Sciences and Healthcare category is Himanshu Baid of Polymedicare.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir. Please say a few words.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the jury and the ENY for honoring me, and I'm really humbled. I'd also like to thank and receive the award on behalf of our employees, 5,000 plus Polymed employees, who relentlessly produce medical devices which are sold globally and saving millions of, curing millions of lives every day. I'd like to also receive this award and share with my brother Rishi and Vishal, who have been also my inspiration every day, and we work together as a team. Also like to thank my parents and my wife, my kids, my family, who have, unconditionally loved me for what I'm doing today. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations. I do have a small request for all the people in the health sector, though. I would like to introduce vegan mosquitoes. It's because in Mumbai where I live, it's become Maldives for mosquitoes now, So if just one tiny catheter you could inject something, and boom, all mosquitoes outside at least my house are fully vegan, only biting tofu. What an amazing invention it would be. Wow. A moment of silence for my observation has led to, I love the silences. My morale is now in the basement. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue our wonderful awards and honors, and our next award honors individuals who have made our brave new world possible through their relentless urge to disrupt, invent, and constantly innovate. This award is for the crazy guys, the ones who refuse to ever take no for an answer, and the category is Startup. Thank you, Mr. Ran, for graciously reading out those wonderful citations. I was looking for you. Disappeared. With that, I'd like to invite our jury member, Mr. Shailendra Singh, to please grace the stage and announce the winner. Thank you for being here, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored and humbled to be on the jury and to share with you the Startup Award winner. This is an exciting category, right? Well, the winner in this category launched a startup at the age of 50 and turned it into $1 billion enterprise within 3 years. Successfully did an IPO last year in calendar 2024. They serve millions of customers and have their insurance startup is not only profitable, but also an integrated technology powerhouse for product design, distribution, customer experience. The winner of the EY startup category is Mr. Kamesh Goyal, someone we have admired greatly and known very well in our firm.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir. Request you to please say a few words.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think being born in India, having the parents I did, having a partnership with Prem Vatsa, and working with an incredible team of colleagues, I guess even I couldn't mess it up. After spending 27, 28 years, and as it said, at the age of 50, decided to do a startup. It sounds ridiculous, but I enjoy every single minute I spend in insurance, and I'm still in the thrilling journey of starting new businesses. We now have 2 insurance companies. In the next quarter, we'll launch India's first private reinsurance company. And I wonder at times, like whether it's a dream, and at times I wonder how I got so lucky in life. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this special moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations once again. And with that, I'm going to request Mr. Singh once again to please announce our next winner. Our next award, sorry. The next category of award pays tribute to the turnaround men and women, the people who transform not just a business, but often an entire sector in its entirety, because the category is business transformation. Mr. Singh, over to you, sir.
Thank you. I think this category should be called industry transformation because that's what I think this award represents. The winner is an MBA from the Wharton School, a serial entrepreneur, has transformed the way India transacts. Almost half of all UPI transactions in India, measured in trillions, let me say that again, with more than $1 trillion of payment volume going through their enterprise. His entrepreneurial venture has revolutionized digitization in India at an unprecedented scale. I think everybody has already guessed it by now. Please join me in welcoming Samir Nigam on stage, who has made a huge impact to India's payments ecosystem.
What a wonderful win. Congratulations, sir. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Mr. Nigam. Sir, I'm going to request you to please say a few words.
Thank you, EOY. Thank you for the judges for this very kind award. We started PhonePe 10 years ago trying to solve a problem we had seen in the startup space, which was payments was difficult. Never in my life did I imagine 10 years ago that India would be going through such an amazing transformation at such a macro scale, and we'd be along for the ride. Everything from geo to demonetization to COVID has been a propellant, and continues to be the pleasure of my life and 40,000 colleagues that we are able to touch lives across the country. And as many members have already said today on stage, it's a great time to be in India. It's a great time to be an entrepreneur in India. And congratulations to all of us, because we're all building the building blocks. We talk about Viksit Bharat in terms of sort of big buzzwords, but we are feeling it. 600 million users in, we are feeling it. So thank you.
Congratulations once again, sir. And thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for so graciously handing out these wonderful awards. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the next award, I would also like you to know that after this event, we have a fabulous cognac and chocolate soiree at the Raja Bagh next door. So please do stay for that. And our next award category is Pindi Chole. Hang on. I think after hearing the cognac and chocolate, my teleprompter guy has gotten hungry. Bhai, kya kar rahe ho? He's flashed the menu instead of my script. Piche jao, scroll back. Yes, keep moving. But guys, speaking of food, I hope you all are enjoying the food here. I have to tell you, this has never been done before on any show. Tonight's menu has specially been curated with what our chefs call a low decibel dining. We have completely eliminated everything crunchy, crispy, or requiring any form of aggressive chewing in favor of foods with the acoustic profile of a gentle whisper. Therefore, tonight we have forever banned celery from being the loudest vegetable in history. It's not allowed. It will never see the light of day on this podium. So if you listen carefully, you can only hear the sweet sound of careers being made. Because if there's one thing worse than losing an award, it's doing so while someone is massacring a breadstick in your ear. For that, it took months of work. Please give us a round of applause. Thank you. Enjoy your meal. And with that, we move on to a category of entrepreneurs who, through their incredible innovation and inventiveness, are changing the way traditional services are delivered to and experienced by customers. Because the category is services. And with that, I'd like to request our jury member, Mr. Sanjiv Bajaj, to please grace the stage and announce the winner. Round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, over to you, sir. Thank you.
So, Rajiv, we were commenting on our table. We love the music. Old Bollywood, U2, fantastic. Nice touch. It's a choice of the winners. Okay. Okay, I didn't know that. So, I've got this citation, but I was also told I can depart from it if I wish. So, since I happen to know a bit about the next winner, I shall give my own inputs. So, first of all, it's a he. Okay? So, he has been at it for more than 25 years. Okay? And it's rare, and I say this, and I mean it well. I know this room is full of people from Ernst & Young. It's rare for a finance person, a chartered accountant, to start his career in finance. Right? Most people who start in finance end up in finance. I mean it well. Okay. But he moved from finance to operations, so from CFO to COO to CEO, and then group CEO. Now, he did not join the company as a founder. He joined as CFO. But when the 2000 meltdown happened, right, the company faced a near-death situation. And employees were given a choice. That, listen, take a huge salary cut, take some equity, and hang on. But if you want to move on, feel free. But, we are out of money, and in fact, our share investor, our venture capitalist, wants his money back. At a discount, but they want their money back. And he decided to stay. Now, the truth is that you are a failed entrepreneur only when you quit. Until then, you're struggling, and you're not successful yet, but you're not a failure. And that is when he transitioned from being an employee CFO to being a co-founder. Right? Because he'd earned his spurs, he'd earned the stripes. So now he was co-founder, and he's been there ever since. This company went public in 2010, and it didn't go public in India. It went public in the US, and he was CFO. And going public, sitting in Gurgaon and going public in the US is a non-trivial thing. Right? But he led the company through that as a CFO. The company has been through at least 3 near-death experiences that I know. Maybe there are more, but 3 I know of. 2000, the global financial crisis, and COVID. Right? And going through near-death experiences, I think, strengthens your character when you come out of it. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rajesh Mago of Make My Trip.
Congratulations! Congratulations, sir. Sir, congratulations. Request you to say a few words, please.
Well, good evening, everyone. Yes, Sanjeev has already embarrassed me a hell of a lot, so I'll try to be brief. But thank you, EY, Rajiv, phenomenal platform that you've built over the years. It's really prestigious. You said it in your speech, but you can see the crowd here, and every single year when people come here, they feel very, very sort of motivated, because that's really the objective here. And also the jury, thank you so much, especially because this is the, it feels special because this is the second time that Make My Trip is getting recognized. In 2011, Deep was here on this very stage, and he won this award. And Make My Trip was recognized for the first time in 2011. And we were very, very young, or relatively younger. We had about $40 million top line revenue and maybe 4 or 5 million of profits at that point in time. And today, not to be quoted here from request to media, but we are on a run rate of $1 billion revenue today at about 160 million profits today. We touched a peak of about $12 billion market cap. And none of this was possible or was going to be ever possible. And therefore, the last word from me is the word of gratitude to the two set of people, besides making Deep the founder and the co-founder sitting on table one, Sajjan Bhatia, proud. The first set of people is actually the team, represented by Yuvraj and Mohit Kabra, who are sitting here, the CHRO and the CFO. And the second set of people is actually represented by my wife sitting here, is the family. Because they are the ones, most of the times end up, of course, supporting, but sacrificing a hell of a lot as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, sir. And thank you so much, Mr. Bikhchandani, for that wonderful citation. Thank you. With that, we move on to the winner of our next category. This category honors that rare breed of professional who displays a dedicated entrepreneurial ownership towards the growth of the business. The category is Entrepreneurial CEO. With that, I'd like to invite on stage our jury member, Ms. Roshni Nadar, to please grace the stage and announce the winner.
Managing a group with multiple businesses entities with interests as diverse as automobiles, finance, logistics, and aerospace indeed needs a laser-sharp focus on a strategic vision, an entrepreneurial mindset and discipline. Embodying all these traits, this entrepreneurial CEO has remarkably shaped the future of one of India's biggest and most diverse business groups, with 55% revenue growth in 3 years and a market leader across several of its business lines. The winner of the EOY Entrepreneurial CEO category is Dr. Anisha of Mahindra Group.
Congratulations, Dr. Anisha, on this wonderful and well-deserved win. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. Request you please say a few words.
There's a saying that I had read a long time ago when I was in college, which is that every wish that you're given comes with the power to make it true. You may have to work for it, however. And there are many wishes over the years and a lot of work. But what I learned is it's not just the wish and the work, but it is the people that pave the path for you are the ones that get you to live your dreams. My wife, Snehal, has shaped me to be the person I am today. My parents, who were at IIM Ahmedabad in the first and the second batch, taught me that you can be anyone you want to be. And I've been blessed to have a remarkable person in my life, Anand Mahindra, whose support and guidance at every step has helped truly pave the way, enabling me to stand here today. But this is an award that, if I were to be honest, is for the entire team at Mahindra, because they've done a remarkable job, and they are the ones that really deserve this. So thank you to the entire team at Mahindra. It's yours.
Congratulations once again, sir, on this wonderful, well-deserved award. And Ms. Nadar, I'm going to request you to please stay on stage to call out the winner of our next award. Now, our next award recognizes entrepreneurs who built the very landscape of our nation, making it better not just for us, but also for future generations to come. The category is energy, real estate, and infrastructure.
I'm just reading what's written. This young man has boldly led the expansion of his company by adopting new business models and keeping focus on customer satisfaction. Through a robust real estate portfolio, he has created a nationwide footprint across different formats and now aims to become one of the top sustainable real estate companies in the country. It is my pleasure to announce the winner of the EOY Energy, Real Estate and Infrastructure category is Pirosha Godrej of Godrej Properties.
Congratulations, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. Keep the claps constant. Thank you so much. Congratulations, sir. Please say a few words.
Big thank you to EOY and the jury for this very prestigious award, and what a wonderful platform this is. You know, real estate is a sector where you get new excitements almost every day, but this is one of the more pleasant of those surprises. I'm deeply grateful to the team at Godrej Properties, of course. I think they operate in quite a challenging, dynamic manner, and almost everyone in the company needs to be an entrepreneur for the business to succeed. So hugely grateful to them for all their efforts, and of course see this as me collecting this recognition on their behalf. So thank you all very much.
Well, congratulations once again. And thank you so much, Ms. Nadar, for so wonderfully announcing our well-deserved winners. Now, the next award honors entrepreneurs who have been the mainstay and the growth engine of the Indian economy. In fact, have always been responsible for our nation's incredible self-reliance. And the category is, yes, you guessed it right, manufacturing. With that, I'd like to request our jury member, Mr. Vellayan Subbiah, to please grace the stage and announce the winner.
Good evening, and manufacturing is a tough category to kind of be an entrepreneur in, because there's so many Indians in manufacturing, so this is a special category, especially close to my heart. The winner of this category is an inspiring entrepreneur who spearheaded significant transformations in our family business, successfully steering it towards renewable energy and sustainability. She's not only doubled the turnover of her company, but has also shown the path to sustainable growth. The winner of the EOY manufacturing category is Meher Padamji from Thermax.
Congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations, ma'am. I'm going to request you to please say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this honor. I take this award very humbly and happily on behalf of our company, Thermax. You know, as I walked up on stage, this is my favorite piece of music. It's called the Moldau by Smetana. And I remember that my parents used to play this every night as I went to bed as a child. So it means a lot to me. So standing here tonight, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to all the jury members, to Ernst & Young, to our MD and CEO, Ashish Bandari, sitting in the audience. It's his leadership, his relentless hard work, with the leadership team and everyone at Thermax that allows me to stand here and accept this award. So thank you very much, Ashish. To my family, especially my mom, who's also in the audience. She's been my mentor, my philosopher, my guide, someone I deeply admire and adore. My husband, Feroz, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight because he isn't too well, but he's been my confidant, my thought partner, my biggest critique, yes, my biggest support through all the highs and lows in my life. And our children, Zahan and Leah, who are part of Thermax, who are an immense piece of joy and whom we learn from every day. This award is not just a recognition, but a responsibility, a call to continue to build Thermax as a business with a purpose, with governance, and with values. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to share an interesting, a little aside piece of information. Ladies and gentlemen, I must share this with you all. Apparently, when her film was being made, Ms. Meher Padamji's office called the filmmakers in a panic. They wanted to make sure that one particular shot was included. A shot of Ms. Padamji with her dog. Lovely to see a strong leader with a soft heart. And we're glad that you got to share a bit of this moment with your Lara. So congratulations once again. And thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, ma'am. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the big one. The award we have all been waiting for. The entrepreneur who stands tall, who will not just walk away with the biggest award of the evening, but will also represent India at the World Entrepreneur of the Year Awards to be held in Monte Carlo in June this year. So get your hands together and get ready to make a lot of noise as we reveal the winner of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year 2024. And to put us all out of our suspense, I would like to request our jury member, Mr. Sunil Munjal, to announce our winner of the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2024. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you. This is an interesting man who started trading at the age of 17. In 2001-2, went broke. And to make up, he joined the call center working night shifts. And I guess that's where he met his wife as well. And he has created something which I think all of us in India are proud of. He is the first generation entrepreneur who built $1 billion business that democratized wealth creation in India. He disrupted the brokerage industry with its low margin, high volume approach. And he did this by bootstrapping and reinvesting profits to build his business. I should tell you that I met him some years ago. And after the lunch, I said, I think we would like to invest in your company. And he says, I don't need money. I don't need any investment. That actually, that shook me up a little bit, but clearly he knew what he was doing. His sharp mind and entrepreneurial insights have made him a role model for aspiring startups. Beyond creating wealth, he likes to flex his muscles and inspire others to prioritize overall well-being as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all rise for the EY Entrepreneur of the Year, Nitin Kamath.
Congratulations, Mr. Kamath, on this wonderful, well-deserved win. Request you all to take one step forward. There you have it, the winner of Entrepreneur of the Year, Nitin Kamath. Congratulations, sir. Mr. Kamath, I'm going to request you to please say a few words.
Okay. Firstly, I'd like to thank EY for this honor, winning it first in the startup category in 2018, and now in the main categories feels truly special. As an entrepreneur, I often ask myself, what's more important, market cycles or your business skills? And usually the answer is market cycles. I started trading, like Sir said, I started trading 27 years ago, which eventually led to founding Zerodha. The idea was simple: offer free, like low-cost broking and offer a stable platform and transparent services. When we started, we had never seen a life beyond 100,000 customers, as in the best case outcome for our business was 100,000 customers. Then serendipity happened, right people joined in, and with K and our tech team, we put out an in-house product first in 2015. And 2016, Aadhaar happened, which was, thanks to the government, onboarding became completely digital. And that was really the first tipping point in a business. The product kept evolving over time. And then when the right time came, we were at the right place and everything happened correctly. So 2020, COVID happened, which has seen a phenomenal growth in the way we do business. So yeah, market cycles do matter a lot, more than business skills, I'd say. That's why these awards are really just acknowledgments. I'd like to dedicate this to every entrepreneur out there who is struggling, hoping his industry's time comes. One interesting thing about our business is that We are probably the only consumer business in India and maybe the world which has gotten to this scale, 1.6 crore customers, without ever advertising. Till date, we have never spent a single rupee on advertisement. And it wouldn't have been possible if not for the support of our customers. So I'd like to thank all our customers. Cheers to everyone at Zerodha, and especially to Nikhil, Seema, Kian, my mom, and this one's for my dad, who cared most about this awards. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations. We're all very big fans. Congratulations on this wonderful win. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the finale. I'm going to request, so you can stay on stage, because I'm going to request all our winners, all our wonderful distinguished jury members to please come up on stage for our celebratory toast. So request you all to please make your way towards the stage. Thank you. An interesting piece of trivia, in case you don't know, is that whenever we had an award winner, we would actually play their favorite song. So that's the reason for the playlist.
They reach higher, unafraid they explore new beginnings. In their hearts there is fire, they dream bigger, better, higher, filled with passion to create a brand new dream.
Big request to all our winners, all our jury members to please make their way towards the stage.
They shine like the dawning of the sun. Entrepreneurs burning bright, symbols of a glowing light.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it would make an incredible photo. So I'm going to request you all to just come a little closer. We have a fantastic photograph for us.
Celebrate their victory. This is their moment of glory, making life so rich, so full for everyone. This is where they begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, also a wonderful reminder is that the highlights of this event will be broadcast on CNBC TV 18 on Tuesday, March 25th at 7:30 p.m. Don't forget, March 25th, 7:30 p.m. Do get your friends and family to watch CNBC TV 18, Tuesday, March 25th, 7:30 p.m.
They can conquer the universe and more.
While these wonderful photographs are being taken, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank a few people and organizations without whom this event would not have been possible. I'd like to thank Adi Pocha and the team at Squircle Productions, Hyperlink Brand Solutions for just always being just the best at what they do, CNBC TV 18, Taj Palace, and our mobility sponsor Nexa, our luxury realty partner India, Sotheby's International Realty, for all the support and the wonderful time that they've given us to make this event such a grand success. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to the end of this amazing evening. We would like to invite you all to make your way to Rajabagh next door for our celebratory cognac and chocolate soiree. Thank you for being such a wonderful, gracious audience. We'll see you next year. Good night. Enjoy.
They are exceptional men, so let's applaud them again.